welcome to Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark, and welcome to another instalment of A Short Story Saturday. Our story this week, though, is in the form of an essay, and it's from renowned essayist Edward Verrill Lucas, or E.V. Lucas to his mates, and the story comes from the collection Adventures and Enthusiasms, published in 1920. I shall tell you the title later on as we move into the story, but first a little bit about E.V. Lucas. He was born in 1868. He is, as I said, a renowned essayist, but he was also a humorist, playwright, biographer, publisher, poet, novelist, short story writer, and editor. So a man with many strings to his bow. He was born into a Quaker family just outside London, and from the age of 16 he went to work as an apprenticed bookseller. So you see, his life was always around books and bookish things. He then went into journalism and worked on various papers, and he was later commissioned to write a biography of a well-known Quaker poet by the name of Bernard Barton, and also later he went on to edit the works of other well-known writers, including Charles Lamb. Lucas joined Punch magazine in 1904, and he stayed there for the rest of his days. He was extremely prolific. He has a ton of writings. If you see on his Wikipedia page, it's very long. It's not so easy to get a lot of them in electronic form, unfortunately, but I would kind of like to get some of his writing in physical book form. That would be really nice, but for now it wouldn't be super possible because of living here in the Czech Republic. He also was the chairman of the Methuen and Co. Publishing house, and he died in 1938. So there we go. Let's move on to our short story. The Perfect Guest by E.V. Lucas. There are certain qualities that we all claim. We are probably wrong, of course, but we deceive ourselves into believing that, short as we may fall in other ways, we really can do this or that superlatively well. I'll say this for myself, we remark, with an approving glance in the mirror. At any rate, I'm a good listener, or whatever I may not be, I'm a good host. These are things that may be asserted of oneself by oneself without undue conceit. I pride myself on being a wit, a man may not say, or I'm not ashamed of being the handsomest man in London, but no one resents the tone of those other arrogations, even if their truth is denied. It is less common, although also unobjectionable, to hear people felicitate with themselves on being good guests. Indeed, I have lately met 2 or 3 who quite impenitently assert the reverse, and I believe that I am of their company. Trying very hard to be good, I can never lose sight of the fact that my host's house is not mine. Fixed customs must be surrendered, lateness must become punctuality, cigarette ends must not burn the mantelpiece, one misses one's own china tea. The bathroom is too far and other people use it, there is no hook for the strop. In short, to be a really good guest and at ease under alien roofs, it is necessary, I suspect, to have no home ties of one's own. Certainly to have no very tyrannical habits. I cut recently from The Spectator this rhymed analysis of the perfect guest. She answered, by return of post, the invitation of her host. She caught the train she said she would, and changed at junctions as she should. She brought a small and lightish box, and keys belonging to the locks, food, rare and rich. She did not beg, but ate the boiled or scrambled egg. When offered lukewarm tea she drank it, and did not even crave an extra blanket, nor extra pillows for her head. She seemed to like the spare room bed. She brought her own self-filling pen, and always went to bed at 10. She left no little things behind, but stories new and gossip kind. Those verses seem to me to cover the ground, although one might want a change here and there. For example, would a little spice of malice in her anecdotage be so undesirable, and a little less meekness in the lady who comes out rather as a poor relation might do no harm. They also might emphasize the point that she was never indisposed, for it is an unpardonable offence in a guest to be ill. that she spent a great deal of time in writing letters, which all hostesses like their guests to do, and that on returning home she sat down and composed a rufa in the warmest possible terms, they might touch lightly but feelingly on her readiness not only to eat what was offered and not to desire luxuries, but to refuse the rarities, such as in recent times bacon and butter and sugar. "Oh no, I never take butter." What grateful words to fall on a hostess's ear. One would not, however, have one's guest a vegetarian, because that way distraction lies. If vegetarians ate vegetables, all might be well, but they don't. My goodness, this could be written today, couldn't it? But they don't. They want made dishes of an exotic nature, or hostesses think they do, and then the cook gives notice. The verses might also refer to the perfect guest's easy flow of conversation when neighbouring bores call, and last, but how far from least, they might note the genuine ring in her voice when she volunteers to do a little reading. But the lines, as far as they go, are comprehensive. Their defect is that they deal with but one type, a woman visiting in the country. There is also to be considered the woman from the country visiting in town, who, to be perfect, must not insist too strongly on her own choice of play, must not pine inordinately for dances, and must not bring more frocks than her hostess can keep pace with. Mention of the hostess reminds me that it is by a hostess that the verses obviously were written, and that, as such, they leave apertures which the arrows of censure might penetrate if we were considering the perfect hostess too. For how could the poet, for all her epigrammatic conciseness, ever have given her exemplary friend the opportunity of drinking lukewarm tea? In any catalogue of the perfect hostess's virtues, a very high place must be reserved for that of watchfulness over the teapot, and the bell that prevents such a possibility. And the perfect hostess is careful, by providing extra blankets, to make craving for more unnecessary. She also places by the bed biscuits, matches, and a volume of either O. Henry or Saki, or both. There we go. That was charming. A little bit of humour. I do like that. We've had some heavy short stories, emotional short stories on our Short Story Saturday, and it's nice to have a humorous essay from one of the great masters. So I really do hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you all next time. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. From Elvis and I, take care. Bye-bye.